I'm going to give you a very, very elementary idea of offensive line. I'm going to teach it to you as if you know nothing about it, okay? Who in here has heard of offensive line? Have you heard of it? You have? Okay. Good. Not many people do, especially if you don't watch football, okay? You watch SportsCenter, you're going to see the quarterbacks, receivers, all the highlights, all that good stuff. Offensive line is a very hard position. It's very technical, okay? It's the big boys. All the big boys you see getting after it. We got 3 of them in here in the back, okay, that play for us. So at first, I'll go over the positions. Offensive line, you're always going to have 5 of them, okay? You're going to have your center in the middle. Your center snaps the ball every play. You know, you'll see the center snap it to the quarterback, okay? Then you'll have on each side of the center, you'll have 2 guards, okay? You'll have a right guard and a left guard, okay? So you'll have G, and then outside of the 2 guards, forgive my circles, they're not very good. You'll have 2 tackles, all right? So you'll have a left tackle and a right tackle, all right? The space between each player is called a split. We teach our guys to have a 2-foot split, okay? A lot of that has to do with our technique and spacing. Some plays you want them to get a bigger split, some plays you want them to tighten down their split. But as a rule of thumb, you always want 2 feet between each player, okay? You want a 2-foot split. And then we teach our guys to have 2 types of stances, okay? You have a 2-point stance, and then you have a 3-point stance. All right, your feet for both of them are going to be the same. You always want to be about a little past shoulder width apart. And you want your toe right here to your inseal. You'll go just like that. You want your, different coaches teach it differently, but you want your feet balanced. You want your weight balanced depending on the play. Sometimes you want them on their toes to get them going forward. Sometimes you want them balanced so they can move around better. Okay, so you're going to slightly bend your knees for a 2-point. You're going to rest your forearm on your thigh right here, and you're going to have your hand ready. You can have it ready right here, or you can have it resting. Or some people hold it down right here. Regardless though, 2-point, you got 1, 2, 2-point stance. With a 3-point, okay, the 3rd point's your hand. So you'll reach your hand out just like this. And depending on the play or how your coach teaches you, depends, some have them leaning out here, some have them, more balanced like this. But 1, 2, 3, that's a 3-point and a 2-point. I know our guys, they like to do a 2-point stance, okay? And that's the basics right there. So we got our 5 positions: center, 2 guards, and 2 tackles, a 2-point stance and a 3-point stance. Tonight we're going to go over run game, we're going to go over gap scheme, and then we'll go over zone after that. Okay. With gap scheme is 2 plays for us. It's power and counter. Okay, they're almost identical. There's really only one change to the play, but people run counter off of power to fool the defense, really. So right here. Alright, so our rules on power, okay? Let's say we're running power to the right, okay? Quarterback, running back, and then we'll have a fullback right here, okay? Our rules are gap, double, backer, okay? Gap, double, backer. So play side, if we're running to the right, play side is our right tackle and right guard. The first rule is gap, okay? Do I have somebody in my gap? Okay, we'll start with the right tackle. Yes. If he didn't have somebody in his gap, well, the first thing is double. Gap, double back. Okay, he's got a double team. Right tackle and the right guard are going to double team the defensive tackle right here. They're going to get hip to hip. Okay, we teach them get hip to hip, so the defensive tackle can't split the double team. They're going to get hip to hip on the tackle, and they're going to work vertically to the backside linebacker. Usually, Campbell can tell you, if they see a guard pulling, what do y'all do? Right, they usually squeeze and scrape. So a lot of times they'll come over the top, and they'll try and drive this tackle straight vertically. And then this guard right here, Jalen, he'll have his eyes on this backside linebacker, okay? So they're going to try and load this guy off the ball, and they're going to push him. And then at the last second, or whenever this linebacker comes, the right guard's going to come off on this linebacker, okay? So we got double backer, we got a double team right here, play side. So we take care of him first, eyes on backside linebacker, okay? The center's job is always the easiest, okay? In gap scheme, he blocks back, all right? So the first thing he works A gap, which this would be A gap, to B gap, backside B, okay? So he already has somebody in A gap, so he doesn't have to worry about B gap, okay? So he's going to block back on this tackle. And really, you know, if he's the center, and that guy have a guy backside A, all right, he's going to step with his play side foot, and he's going to make sure that he doesn't come over the top, okay? Easy block, backside, all right? I'm going to skip this guard for now, okay, and go to this tackle, backside tackle. He's got something called slam hinge, okay? What he's going to do is it's like slamming a door and hinging it, okay? He's the backside tackle, all right? He's going to step in the B gap, make sure nothing comes through, and his eyes are going to be on that end. So he's going to step hard, get his butt in the B gap, and then he's going to hinge open like a door, kind of, just like the technique says. And he's going to usually pick up that backside end. The most important thing is that he gets his butt in the B gap, because a lot of times the lineman will shoot over, or if we got a blitz, you know, anything. If somebody comes into B, he'll be there. And it happens like that. He'll step hard in the B gap and hinge back on that end. So usually, he'll be accounting for him. All right, so that's called a slam hinge. So right now we have a double team. To the backside linebacker, center's blocking back, tackle slam hinging, all right? Fullback, he's a part of the play, but he's not an offensive lineman. He's going to kick out the end, all right? And this guard right here, he's going to skip pull to the linebacker, okay? So usually, I'm not going to teach you how to skip pull, but he's going to pull. He's actually going to pull around on the snap. He's going to pull all the way around inside that kick out, right here, okay? He's going to kick him out, they're double teaming, he's pulling in between those two guys. As he's coming around, he's going to be tight right off the tackle's butt.
Hey, just let me know if the building is blocked for the polling, for the voting stuff.
Okay.
So just let me know if you guys have anybody else on the class.
For sure. So he's coming around, he's coming right off the tackle's butt. These guys are going to be moving forward. In a perfect world, the tackle and guard will be up here. He's coming right off his butt. He's got the first person that comes off him, okay? We say pull for him, but those linebackers aren't just going to be standing there, okay? It could be him, whoever, it doesn't matter. He's pulling right off his butt, and he's pulling to block the defender. So we have that. We have the double team, block back, skip pull, slam hinge. Okay, that's power. All right, so I'll show you some power cut ups.
Hey. What's up, Coach?
So
Hey,
right
Jeremiah,
here,
will you hit
so we have our
that
center.
light on the right, please? Yeah. Yeah, she's good. She's good. Yeah.
She was a little late.
No, she's fine. She's fine. Yes, sir. Thank you.
So our rules are gap, double backer, right? This will start with the play side tackle. There's nobody in his gap, okay? And he doesn't have a double team. So what's the third thing? Backer, gap, double backer, which means linebacker for those that aren't in football, okay? These two right here, if I can, well, I can't make notes with it, but these two guys, 55 and 73, they're going to block this guy all the way to the backside linebacker like I drew it up. The only difference is there's no double team, okay? So 73 is going to work all the way to this backside linebacker. Now I'm showing you guys these clips in good faith. They may screw up, and if they do, I'll just tell you what they're supposed to do, okay? So we'll look at number 73 right here. Boom. All right, so yeah, okay. This guy shoots the gap, he shoots in. He takes care of that gap. He's really supposed to be working to him, but we sort of get a little mosh pit going right here. But that's taken care of. The center, well no, the right guard. First rule, gap. He has somebody in his gap, so he's his no matter what. He's got to block that guy. Unless he shoots over, 73 will pick him up. He blocks him. That's actually a really good block right there. Alright, now let's see what our center does. His rule is backside A, which is this gap right here, to backside B. Alright, there's nobody in A gap, so where does he go? He goes to B gap, which is this guy right here. That's who he picks up. Perfect. Alright. Let's see what our guard does. Our guard's supposed to pull all the way around, right off the tackle's butt. Alright. With his eyes on him or him, really whoever's in the hole at the time when he gets there. All right. 47 didn't really get a good block. In a perfect world, all right, this guy right here blocks him out. And 62 is going to be right off his butt. You can barely see it, but there's a linebacker right here waiting there, okay? He'd come right off that tackle's butt, ready to block this guy. He ends up blocking him, same guy, pulling for the same guy, it just develops a little differently. Boom. All right. Let's check out our backside tackle. All right, our backside tackle 76 right here. He's supposed to slam hinge, all right? Get your butt into B gap, all right? We do have a guy in B gap, so he needs to be there just in case, all right? He's gonna get his butt into B gap, then he's gonna slam hinge open kind of like a door, all right? With his eyes on this guy, all right? Boom, you see that? First thing he does is he steps hard into B gap. Hard in a big gap, opens like a door. He never comes because we have a guy to block that end. But that's the slam hinge right there. And that's power. It's power to the right. Let's see another clip. Alright. Here we go. Let's start with the right tackle. Okay. This is power to the right. Alright, number 70 right here. His first rule is gap. His gap's right here, okay? Nobody's in his gap. Second rule is double. Doesn't have anybody to double team, okay? So third rule is backer. All right, linebacker's right here, number 51. So he's going to close this space, all right, in case big boy right here slants over. And then he's going to work to this linebacker right here. Let's see what happens. Closes it, picks him up. Perfect. That's exactly how you draw it up right there. Nobody's in his gap, nobody double, go straight to linebacker. Boom. Perfect. All right, let's check out our right guard right here. This is Jalen. All right, first rule's gap. Easy decision right here. He's got a large person in his gap right here. All right, decision's made right away. Okay, he's got to block that guy. He is his. Perfect. Perfect. Good. Center's job's easy. He's blocking backside A right here to backside B. He's got this guy. You can't see him, but he's right here. All right. He's in backside A gap, so that's who he's going to go block. Let's see how he does. Takes care of him. Perfect. All right. Backside tackle right here, 77. He's slam hinging. Get your butt in the B gap right here. then hinge open like a door with your eyes. Usually there's somebody right there. It's probably this guy right here, okay? Boom, steps hard, opens up like a door, eyes on the end. Step inside, hinge open. Perfect. And that's power. Alright, so power and counter are both gap scheme because they're almost identical, and we use gap rules for blocking, okay? The only difference is what the guard does, alright? This pull and guard makes all the difference. It turns one play into two. I'll just redraw.
Kia, will you turn that light on, please? Thank you. That light, will you hit that light switch, please? Thank you.
Alright, so a lot of teams who run power, okay, this fullback is usually what the defense keys, okay? A lot of times the fullback will kick out that end. Teams that run power a lot, these linebackers right here will read this guy. Alright, so the offense for a change-up we'll call counter. Alright, so they're seeing this fullback right here. We've run power a bunch this game. Alright, so we're going to trick them. And instead, we're going to run it to this side. Power, you always run it to the fullback side. Okay? Now we're going to counter it away from the fullback. The rules stay the same pretty much as on power. So play side, gap, double backer. Gap scheme, gap, double backer. We got a double team right here. Same thing. They're going to double team, get hip to hip so he can't break it and get in the gap. They're going to push him vertically with their eyes on this backside linebacker. Center is responsible for backside A to backside B. He's got a guy in backside A, so he blocks back. Really, his only rule is to not let this guy get over the top. Alright? Tackle, backside tackle, he's going to slam hinge. Same thing, get your butt in the B gap, hinge open with your eyes on the end right here. Okay? The difference between power and counter is what this guard does. So this guard's going to pull, alright, but instead of pulling to the linebacker, he is going to open up. If I'm the right guard pulling, alright, he's going to open up, and as fast as he can, he's going down the line to kick out this defensive end right here. Okay? And with his outside shoulder, he's going to kick him out. Okay? So he's going to pull almost into the line of scrimmage because we expect these two guys to get movement. Alright, so you draw it into the line of scrimmage and you kick him out. So instead of the fullback kicking him out this time, it's going to be the guard. Okay, they're just switching positions. And then the fullback right here, he'll be the one pulling with his eyes on this linebacker. Okay? Quarterback, running back, he's going to run it right there. Alright? They're almost identical. You're just switching what the guard and the fullback are doing. Okay? So now I'll pull up some counter clips because they're both in the gap scheme family. Alright, so you see this fullback back here? If you've been running power a lot this game, 42 and 6 are going to start keying that fullback, alright? Power is usually to the side the fullback's on. He's usually the one kicking out this end, alright? Well, this time we're going to run counter, okay? To, not have a bunch of tendencies. Alright, so right here, play side, nobody's in his gap, nobody to double team, alright? So he's working to the linebacker. Backside linebacker is right here, number 6. So this tackle is going to work all the way to number 6. All right, let's see what happens. Shifts over, picks him up, which is fine, because this guy, you know, he hits the gap. Perfect, picks up 42, that's fine. All right, play side guard, first rule is gap, nobody's in his gap. Double, he may have a double depending on what this nose does. Usually we teach him to bang him over to help this center right here. All right. So we get double team. Let me get that flip. It's not very good. All right, here we go. All right, so he tackle, backside linebacker. Guard, right guard, first rule is gap. He has somebody in his gap right here. Let's see what he does. He's supposed to block this guy right here. And he gets him. Perfect. Alright. Center. Backside A to backside B. Nobody's in A gap, so he has to check B gap. We got this guy right here in B gap. See what he does. All right, so we end up having somebody in A gap. This linebacker shoots A gap to B gap. He's going to pick up the linebacker because he was there first. So our center ends up getting A gap. All right. Now, the difference between counter and power is what this guard does right here. This guy right here, instead of pulling around, all right, he's going to pull in a straight line and kick out the end man off the tackle's butt, just like that. And then this fullback is going to be the one pulling. All right, let's see what the guard does right here. And you're supposed to kick out with your outside shoulder. Perfect. Perfect. Just like that. His outside shoulder to his inside. The reason we do that is because the hole is right here. Okay? We kick him out with our outside shoulder because we don't want this guy to spill back underneath. Alright? We want to keep him outside. That's actually a really good kick out. And then you'll see this fullback goes right into the kick out, boom. So in power, all right, the fullback is the one kicking it in, and the guard is the one leading up on the linebacker. Counter, you just flip it. All right, same play pretty much, different responsibilities, so you don't have a bunch of tendencies. All right. Then I'll go over some pass pro real quick, some slide protection to wrap it up. The most simple form of pass protection is slide protection. All right. We have slide and we have scan. Scan's a little complicated, so I'll just teach y'all slide tonight. And the rules are really simple. Alright, so we call it ray and lead. Ray is slide to the right, lead is slide to the left. In slide protection, you don't have a man, you have a gap. Okay? It doesn't matter who's in it, you have a gap. Alright, so if we call Ray our offensive line, though, they're sliding to the right. Okay? So our right tackle, his gap is right here. This end can turn around and run away, it doesn't matter. He doesn't have that end, he has that gap. Okay? Whoever's in it, that's who he has. So pre-snap, he'll probably end up on that end, okay, unless he slants or something. Right guard, same thing, he has this gap. Right now, he's got a tackle, he'll probably end up on him, okay? Center, same thing, it's easy. You got a gap. You got a gap. Alright, now the backside, right here, it doesn't look like we have somebody to pick him up. But oftentimes, it'll be a running back and a fullback right here. They'll get whatever comes off the backside tackle foot. Just like that. So they're all sliding in one direction, they got a gap. One back, sometimes two, will have whatever comes off the edge. Where we get in trouble, what we teach our guys, especially freshmen, is they forget that it's gap and they get worried about a man. So they'll have a man in their gap pre-snap and they'll step to him to engage, and then he'll slant over and they'll chase them and leave their gap open. And then somebody goes through that gap and that's how they get a sack. Okay, so they gotta remember you have a gap and not a man. Okay? Alright, so slide protection to the left. It's the same thing. We call it lead. Alright, so slide left, you got a gap, just like that. Simple. It's the best pass protection. If you want a deep ball, if you have a long pass, that's going to develop, you want 7-man protection, you usually call slide protection. Alright, those big plays, those 50-yard passes, that take some time to develop, quarterback needs time, you want to call slide protection. Or we'll call it 7-man protection, because you'll have the running back or the fullback, both of them. That makes it 7 guys. You got your front 5, and you have these 2 pass protection. Gives the quarterback the most time. Okay? So I'll show you some clips of that. Ray and Lee. Ray is to the right, Lee is to the left.
Jalen, what's your favorite blocking skill?
Right, for sure. The most simple one.
BK knows what it's like to run Ray and Lee. Gotta have that gap. Don't get fooled. Alright, so right here we have Lee, okay? So it's left. Alright, left tackle, he has this gap. 55, this gap. Everybody across the board, you have your gap to the left. Where people get caught slipping is, for example, I don't know if he's going to do it, but sometimes 55, he's got a guy in his left gap pre-snap. Okay, so sometimes guys get locked in. This guy will slant over, he follows them. This guy goes in the gap, makes a sack. All right, you can't fall for that. You have to stick with your gap. It doesn't matter who's in it. Okay. Let's see how it goes. We'll start with 74 and work our way down. Boom, left gap, sticks with them, perfect. Left guard, left gap, sticks with them. Center. You see, all right, so this is a good example right here. 63 right here has this guy on his right. He's in his grill the whole play. But it's Lee, so what gap is he responsible for? The left. So even though he's in his grill, all right, he can help out a little bit, but his eyes, as you'll see in the play, are in that left gap. All right, because ultimately, this right guard right here, this guy's in this left guard's gap. All right, or right guard. 71, he's in his gap, takes care of him. Perfect. Easy. This is usually the first kind of slide, or the first kind of pass protection kids learn, is slide protection. Right here, we'll start with the, right here we have Ray, so it's to the right. Right tackle, right gap, perfect. Right guard. Alright, so this is what we mean. This nose right here, this guy ends up all the way over here, okay? The center right here, 63, does he go all the way over there to get him? No, because he leaves this gap. The guard will pick him up. Nobody's in there at first, pre-snap. Pre-snap, nobody's in that gap, but after the snap, this nose guard comes all the way over here. We follow the rules, he picks them up. Perfect. All right, right here, pre-snap. This or left tackle, right here, he's responsible for this gap. Pre-snap, his end is on his left. All right, he's not responsible for him. He's got his gap. But after the snap, where does the end go? Into his gap, so he picks him up. So it's a really sound type of pass protection. It's the easiest to teach, it's the safest. All right? I'll go over one more. We'll go over scan protection real quick.
Sure.
Just a basic sense. It's harder and it can get complicated, but I'll try to keep it simple.
And here in a second, I know TJ Campbell and Jeremiah Gray have questions for you. So, think of one question, TJ. Jeremiah, think of one question. It'll make y'all better.
We have no question right now?
As soon as he's done with the... And if anybody else got a question too.
All right, so right here we have a very generic standard defense, very basic, okay, to teach you guys. We have scan protection, all right. We have Ram and Leo, okay, and I'll go over the meaning behind that. Is in pre-snap, or in scan protection, the quarterback is going to call the mic, okay? All right, that's the side. He's going to choose which side needs to be the man's side, which side poses the biggest threat to pre-snap, okay? So if he's worried about this side, the right, okay, pre-snap, he's going to point at that linebacker and say, 40's the mic, 40's the mic, okay? Let's say this is 40, okay? And remember, we have Leo and Ram. So, if the center is the dividing mark, which side is 40 on? The right side. So, the center will call Ram, okay? How many letters does Ram have in it? 3. Leo, 3. Okay, what that means is these 3 guys are going to be man on the mic, which will be this guy. Quarterback called this guy the mic. We got a Ram call, all right? Right now, the center is man on this guy. Right guard is man on him. Right tackle is man on him, okay? If, this is where it gets complicated, defenses get, they throw schemes at you, they throw stunts. They may take this tackle in here. They may bring him in here, they may bring him all the way around. All right, we'll teach them rules. We call it bump. So right now, the tackle is man on him. We got a Ram call. If this defensive tackle crosses his face, he's going to call it bump, so the center can pick him up. All right, or right here, this tackle crosses our tackle's face, bump, they pass him off. That takes a lot of practice. All of fall camp, they're basically teaching them Ram and Leo scan protection, okay? And then backside is easy. Backside is just your man on the last 2 defenders, which would be this end and this tackle. All right, so pre-snap, we got Ram. The left side knows, all right, I'm man on him, I'm man on him, okay? If we got Leo, all right, quarterback calls this guy the mic. The center will go Leo. Now it would be these 3 for these 3. This tackle, this linebacker, and this end. Backside would be the right, all right, and they would be responsible for these 2. And that's just a basic sense of it, okay? And we'll watch some clips and show you some scenarios for our blocking rules and why they bump stuff off. And we do drills every day. We call them twist pickup with our tackles and guards every day because defenses in college are a lot more complicated than high school. All right, here we go. Let's see if it shows the quarterback pre-snap. All right, so who's number 3 pointing at right here? You see his arm? He's pointing to the guy with the dreads, okay? So what side is that? Leo. Toby's going Leo right here. So that means we got this guy, and this guy. These three, responsible for those three. Backside, easy. 77 is responsible for this guy. Right guard's responsible for this guy. Okay, the running back will pick up whoever's left. It just depends on the type of protection, honestly. But up front, those are our rules. All right, so right here we got a Leo call. Pre-snap, okay? Pre-snap, the center is responsible for this guy right here. The guard, he's man on the linebacker. Boom. These two. 74 is man on the end, all right? And depending on what the defensive guys do, you know, that will dictate how we adjust to it. Are we gonna bump it off, or are we just gonna stick with them? So let's see how it goes. We'll start with 74 and work our way down. So we got Leo, scan protection. Boom. This guy stays there, so he stays man on him. Easy. 65. All right. The linebacker never comes, okay? So even though he's man on the guy with the dreads, he can help the center with this guy in the meantime. All right, so right here, Leo. So right here, he can help as long as he keeps his eyes on him. All right, because if this linebacker comes through, 55 is responsible for that linebacker. All right, the center, easy, pre-snap. Guy was already in his gap. Let's check backside. Backside, guard for tackle, tackle for end. Boom. There we go. All right. Can't tell where it's pointing. Yep, there we go. So we got Leo right here. It's pointing to the left. Number 6 is the mic. So we got Leo. These three, center, guard, tackle. These three. Let's see what they do. Boom, same thing as the clip before, 55. His man is this guy, okay? But he's going to help the center, whose man is this guy, with his eyes on that linebacker. In case what? In case he comes through here. Okay, he'll have his eyes and he'll help in the meantime. Let's see if we can get a reps. Alright, so right here I can just tell by who they're blocking. 16's the mic. Alright, so these three, or these three. Backside, man on man. Let's see what happens. Alright, so right here, okay, this is a good example. 42 pre-snap is the centers, okay? Pre-snap, the left guard is responsible for 16. But what does 42, this guy right here, what does he do after the snap? He crosses face, right? He crosses our guard's face. He goes this way. All right, so we get a bump call. All right, so these two guys' responsibilities essentially flip. You're just bumping it over. So now, when 42 does that right there, okay, the guard is now responsible for 42. The center is responsible for 16, okay? That's why we bump it off. That tells the guy, all right, guys cross face, now I'm responsible for who's coming. he never comes, but his rules tell him he's responsible for that guy. Let's see if there's some good blitzes. Sometimes defenses can bring some funky stuff that makes it hard. All right, right here. Pre-snap. All right, this tackle is responsible for 34. This guard, responsible for him. Pre-snap. If this is Leo, if it's Rex, then no, it's right. Here we go. So what does this guy do right here? They twist. It's called a twist stump. So as he crosses face, he's supposed to bump it over. Boom. So in a perfect world, all right. In a perfect world right here, as soon as he crosses, all right, the tackle, this tackle will say bump, bump. The guard picks up 34, which is right there, and the tackle will pick up this guy looping around. All right, but sometimes it happens so quick and we don't pick it up. But those are the rules. Bump, bump. We're man backside, that's easy. Let's see if there's another. We're not doing target protection. All right, here we go. All right, so who's our quarterback pointing to? Right. Let's see. Boom, right there. He's pointing at this guy right here. All right, so we got Leo. 63, 66, 67 are responsible for these three guys right here. Okay? Leo. Ooh, there we go. That's a good one. Watch this defensive end right here and this tackle right here. What do? They twist. So we just switch responsibilities. Right here, our guys need to go bump, 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 bump. And they just pass them off and they just trade guys. All right, so it's man, but if they cross face, we call bump, bump, and we trade responsibilities. And when you communicate, which is really a learning curve in college ball, that you don't have to do as much in high school, is communicate. Because when the bullets are flying, all right, if you don't communicate, that's how we get sacked. And we pick it up. One more and that'll be it, Coach Odell.
Sure. I know TJ's itching to ask a question. So.
Can't give me any hard ones. Alright, here we go. Last one. Alright. What does 43 do right here? Across his face. Alright. So where this guard screws up,
I'm gonna
he
miss y'all
follows
tomorrow
him.
morning.
Alright,
I'm gonna
pre-snap.
miss y'all tomorrow morning.
Pre-snap, this would be Rex, all right, 16's the mic. If you watch the center right here, his eyes are on the mic right there, okay? But since 43 crosses over, all right, so right there, he crosses face, the center now picks up 43, and the guard is responsible for 16, okay? 34 stays there, the tackle stays on. But what happens is the guard sticks with 43, so we probably didn't communicate bump at the time. Alright, so if 16 were to shoot the gap, the guard doesn't know to switch men. Alright, there was probably not a bump call. And that's miscommunication. That's why it's so important. It tells that guard, alright, hey, we're switching guys. You now have the mic, the center now has 43. Luckily, he didn't blitz. And we get a pass. There we go.
And a PI.
That's it, man. That's a very basic. There's a lot of technique. You can go on for hours, but.
Awesome. All right, TJ.
Well, coach, say you have a young offensive line, and you're going to face up against a team that you know going to bring the pressure a lot, going to blitz a lot, no matter if it's second and long or third and long, you know you're going to blitz. What would be the best pass protection you think that the young offensive line can deal with an experienced defense?
All right, so a lot of times you'll see this. How many times do you see Braylon do this if it's a pass play? All right, so instead of saying hut or quarterback collapse, all right, and that tells them to snap the ball. Well, we go against our defense every day, so they know that we collapse instead of say hut. All right. A lot of times the defense tries to time the snap count, you know, so they can get off the ball just like that. All right, so a lot of times the quarterback will go like that and pump fake, and those antsy linebackers will be going like that, and they'll give away the blitz pre-snap. All right. So a lot of times he'll pump fake like that. You can see the blitz develop, and then the quarterback may change the mic. Pre-snap, he may say this guy on the left. All right. Boom. TJ, you know, runs up in a gap. All right, TJ's probably going to blitz, and I'm going to call Rex. TJ's now the mic. Ultimately, the quarterback's responsible for his protection. A lot of times, you know, unless the offensive lineman gets whipped, pressure, especially defenses that blitz a lot, the quarterback is responsible for his protection. Pre-snap, he determines what the protection is going to be. Do I want Rex or do I want Leo? We have more to it. Sometimes we have something called push right and push left, and other options to help with defenses that bring a lot of pressure. Or TJ, I throw a screen. If you're going to blitz and you're going to rush hard upfield, we'll throw it right behind you. Or we'll go on 2, so you don't come off the ball as fast. There's some stuff here and there that can help with that. May not help you win, but with a young and inexperienced offensive line, usually snap count and your scheme can go a long way.
Nice. And I think Jeremiah's got 1 too.
Hey, so say you call Ram, but you got 4 people coming on the left side. How y'all gonna pick that up? Say you got like a corner blitz. You got the linebacker coming as well.
Corner blitz?
Yeah.
Okay, so corner blitz, the running back or the fullback's responsible for for the corner coming off the edge. So, you know, we have 80 protection, 60 and 70. The differences in those, it's all the same for the offensive line, but the difference is the backfield. And that changes who the running back and the fullback are responsible for blocking. Usually the running back will be responsible for 1, maybe 2 guys, depending on the defense. The fullback and tight end will have somebody. And then the third guy, the third pressured guy, the quarterback is responsible for him, meaning he throws off of him, depending on what he does. So if you ever hear, you know, Coach Collins say, Braylon's responsible for that guy, that means he throws off of that guy. Running back picks up the other, the offensive line have their rules.
Nice.
And you know, it's always situational. Like, defenses can bring certain fronts. If you bring a certain front, a lot of times we'll just push right and push left. And that tells our guard over that it's basically slide protection. We're responsible for all of this junk over here that you're bringing. And we'll be man backside, and the running back will pick up any trailing guys. But usually, if it's something scary looking, that defense brings, the quarterback will push it right or left. And that's something for another day to discuss the rules. But
Awesome.